Inside Racing is brought to you by Dunlop. Sir Stirling Crawford Moss, born 1929, a pure English racing driver, one of the most successful in history, a man who thrilled the masses, a man full of ambition, with a drive that is now hard to imagine.
One of the reasons I started in motor racing was because it's dangerous. When you're 17 years old, you know, the idea of doing something that's dangerous, people say, God, you must be brave and all that. I never ever raced with a seatbelt on in my life. I raced because there were pretty girls around.
It was 60 years ago that his career took off. His debut, the Swiss Grand Prix, followed by win after win at Le Mans, in the Mille Miglia, and in Formula One. But what was the highlight for Mr. Motor Racing?
I mean, I did 529 races, and I had so many different types of race, from Formula One, Formula Two, sports cars, touring cars, and so on. But I think probably Monaco in 1961 was one of the highlights, certainly.
He achieved 3 Grand Prix victories in the glamorous Principality, 1956, 60 and 61. He left names like Fangio, Hill and McLaren in his wake.
Monaco circuit is very, very little altered. It is since my time. They built the swimming pool and so on. But in principle, you're driving on the roads, you're driving through the tunnel, and the people are really close to you. I mean, you can see them, you can see the girls and everything so close. It's a wonderful atmosphere. And to drive around there, well, now it's not 100 laps, it's less now, but it is something terribly exhilarating. I mean, you're talking of, in my time, 3.5 hours and 14 gear changes every lap. I mean, it was pretty hard work, and it's so emotional. I mean, the whole thing. And at the end, of course, Prince Rainier was there, and Princess Grace when I was driving, and to go up and receive the garland was very emotional.
Dramatic victories, full of fighting spirit. This time, 58 at the Argentinian Grand Prix. Moss in his Cooper T43. A stubborn little guy, determined and fanatical. He drove the race his own way. Unforgettable stories on the Inside Racing stage.
Your most dramatic Cooper victory was the Argentine Grand Prix in 1958, when it was very hot, when everybody was changing tyres, and the Ferraris were quite happy to let you go ahead because you hadn't made your tyre stop yet, and they were waiting for you to make your tyre stop. Your mechanic, who was in on the plot, actually brought the fresh set of tyres out onto the pit lane, waiting for your tyre stop. You never stopped.
He kept giving me countdown signals and thumbs up, and that's yes, and right next lap, and you know. Then of course the Italians got pretty excited when it got near the end. They thought, my God, he's not going to stop. So then they got Musso to go like hell, and by then my tyres were worn out. Now, Dunlop are a great tyre, but I must tell you they do wear out. When you've got a tread and you're spinning it fast, it's lines, and then gradually the lines disappear, and then you've got what effectively a slick. Then and that's going round, and of course you can see them just here and there. Then when that's gone, you get to canvas. Now canvas is white, and so you suddenly see a white patch. And I knew I was in trouble. It wasn't good news. Anyway, they held on till the end.
4 times World Championship runner-up, but never F1 champion. Rewarded instead with an extra helping of self-irony.
Somehow it's more exclusive not to have won it than win it. I mean, there are a lot of drivers out there who've won the title, and I'm quite happy with being one who didn't. You know, a loser.
And if you love your car. Inside Racing was brought to you by Dunlop.